So, for describing this topic more clearly, I have taken an example in the form of tentative topic, that is powering up performance, unleashing the impact of modern HR practices in electrical good SMEs, in which SMEs stands for small and medium sized enterprises. The optimal components for an effective presentation typically involve a well thought out structure and engaging elements, hairs and elaboration. So first point is introduction about the topic. Second one is review of literature, in which we have to present some important literature that are used in our study. Third one is the conceptual framework of the study in the form of model. Fourth one is the research methodology used in this study. And the fifth one is data analysis and the interpretation, which is based on the statistical tool you have applied. Sixth one is finding results and conclusion. And last one is references. This slide, I am going to discuss about the introduction part of the research study. So in a research study, introduction serves as an opening session that provides essential background information, context, and an overview of the research topic. Its primary purpose is to introduce the reader to the research problem, establish the significance of the study, and outlines the objective and scope of the research. So for this topic, I have taken for this slide is introduction can be a small and medium-sized enterprises are vital for India's GDP growth, but they face challenge like high turnover and the impact of COVID-19. So these studies needed to be debunk these myths and promote the benefit of contemporary HR practices for SMEs. Despite the potential improvement in the working condition, SMEs often avoid implementing modern HR practices due to the lack of knowledge. Bridging this gap could significantly enhance SMEs' overall performance and efficiency. So this could be a introduction for this topic, which can be taken as an example. So motivation, that is a part of introduction. So what is research motivation? Research innovation refers to the introduction of novel and creative ideas, methods, or the approaches in the field of research. It involves the development and application of new concepts, techniques, or technologies to advance the knowledge and solve the problem. So this provides a researcher for identifying the new topics and to work on these areas. So research motivation outlines the driving force behind the conducting study, providing context and the significance. It should be succinctly convey the purpose, relevance, and the potential contribution of the research. This section typically includes a clear statement of the problem, gaps in the existing knowledge, and the intended impact. So the example I have taken for this slide is while employed at XY generation, I identified and developed a keen interest in researching this particular topic and area. Anyone can identify their research gap while working or while experiencing some type of issues that can be a research motivation for the new study or for enhancing the knowledge for the current research area. Part of this slide is talking about the research gap after the research motivation. So what is research gap? A research gap is a void or unexplored area in the existing literature where current knowledge falls short. It represents a lack of information or an understanding about a specific aspect of a subject. And identifying and addressing research gap is essential for contributing new insights and advancing knowledge within a particular field or the study in which you want to work as a researcher. Researcher must aim to fill these gaps through the empirical investigations or bridging new perspective and finding to the forefronts. So for this study, the research gap could be, as per the study of Browser et al. 2013, stated that in earlier times of SMEs used to estimate their outcomes in figures only, but later it was proven inappropriate because they ignored other factors that were also contributing. So the requirement emerged to consider some factors also for measuring the firm's outcome, which ultimately enhance their narrow scope of measurement. So this could be a research gap for this tentative topic. Next part of the introduction is the research problem. So what is a research problem for a research study? So in simple terms, a problem statement in a research paper is a clear description of the issues or the challenges that the study aims to investigate or the address. Or I can say it outlines the gap or the problem in existing knowledge that the researcher intends to fill, providing a concise explanation of why the study is important and what the researcher seeks to achieve. So, for example, I have describing about the research problem for this tentative topic, like a small and medium-sized firm face many problems in their day-to-day life due to which they are not able to get the much growth. So, Some of the problem statement could be a limited knowledge about the proper find allocation, no separate department to handle specific tasks, employee get easily attracted towards the companies, not being aware of benefit, and the main focus on the owner is on increasing the productivity. So these could be the problem statement for this tentative topic, and anyone can select their problem statement on the basis of their experience, on the basis of the literature review. The ending of the introduction could be the objective of this study. So what are the objective of this study in a research paper? So objective of the study in a research paper is the specific goal or the purpose the researcher aims to achieve it. It outlines what the study intends to accomplish, guiding the research process. And in simple terms, I can say it's like a target or the destination for the investigation, help to focus and define the scope of the research. And over these objective, hypothetical assumptions are also framed in the future. So, according to this study topic, the objective of this study could be like to assess the impact of a type of HR practices over SME's productivity, which is the dependent variable for this tentative topic. And second one is to analyze the impact of B type of HR practices over the productivity SMEs. And third one is to assess the effect of C type of HR practices over the productivity of SMEs. And the last one objective of this study could be to analyze the impact of D type of HR practices adopted by the SMEs over their productivities. Part of this slide, I'm going to tell you about what is hypothesis and how you can frame a good hypothetical assumption for your research study. So hypotheses are the prediction you make before doing a research. So two types of hypotheses are null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. So what is null hypothesis? Null hypothesis is the statement that there is no significant difference or the effect, or it's like a researcher often tests against the null hypothesis to see if their findings are statistically significant. Then alternative hypothesis means it is opposite to the null hypothesis in simpler terms. And if the null hypothesis is rejected, the alternative hypothesis may be accepted, suggesting that there is a significant difference or the effect. So I have framed out four types of hypotheses for this tentative topic. So H1 is there is a positive relationship between the use of A type of HR practices over the SME's productivity. So A type of HR practices is the independent variable, and I am going to test their impact over the dependent variable, that is SME productivity. So these are the examples how you can frame a good hypothetical assumption for a research study by using the alternative hypothesis type. You are going to know about what is literature review. So a literature review in a research study critically examines existing literature, establishes context and identifies the gap, providing the foundation of a research question and the methodologies. It plays an important role in shaping the study theoretical framework and ensures the comprehensive understanding of the topic. So the literature review, I have presented a study which is mainly contributed in my research. That is Mahadevan ETAL 2014. It is APA style citation. So this is the example how you quote the literature for a research study. Your framework or the model. It is totally depend on you that you want to frame a model or just want to take in as the research gap in the form of a base study. So if you are framing a conceptual model for your study, the 4 points must be keep in mind. First one is identify concept and variables. Second is establish relationships. Third one is state assumption and proposition. And fourth one is theoretical underpinnings. Methodology part generally includes three following points. First one is research design, which could be exploratory or descriptive, depending on the type of study you are using as a research. Second one is sampling method. It could be purposive, judgmental, or simple learning, or any other. Third one is simple characteristics. So sample characteristics are the categories of the respondent you have taken for collecting the responses. Next one is sample size. It depends on the type of study you have to collect the data. And there are certain type of formulas are also using for identifying the right sample size. The next one is questionnaire. So in most of the cases, Likert is preferably used for collecting the data. Likert scale could be based on 5-point, 6-point, 7-point scales. Next point is data collection. So data for your study is totally depend on your research area, like you are going to collect the data from primary sources or the secondary sources. Next one is sampling area, that is the geographical area in which you are going to collect the responses from the respondents. So for research paper should include a clear, concise summary of the key results and the outcomes of the study. And this section typically highlights the main discoveries, trends, or the patterns observed during the research. So here I have presented few points that should be covered in the findings part. Recommendation in a research paper are like practical advice based on what a study found, and they suggest what to do next and how to address issues, and think of them as helpful tips for future actions or the research. So here are the some recommendation and suggestion that must be implemented for framing out the right suggestions for the future scope of studies. And I have also mentioned the example which is based on the tentative topic I have selected. Limitation of the study generally includes the factors that are beyond the control of the researchers, and the researcher often has no control over the intrinsic limit of a study, whether they are theoretical or the practical. These limitations limit how far the study conclusion can be applied. So, for example, the limitation for this tentative topic could be some of the respondents did not answer the question which is related to the internal policy and productivity of their company. Conclusion of a research study wraps up the main findings and their importance, and the implication discusses the broader effects or the applications of the study's results, providing insight into the real-world relevance or the potential impact on the field. So there are two categories of implication are usually addressed in this section, like theoretical and practical effects. In a research paper are the sources you cite to support your arguments, ideas, or the findings. They provide credibility to your work and allow the readers to explore the sources you consulted. So generally, the references are based on the citation you have used in your study. So the styles used for the citations are APA, MLA, Chicago, IEEE, and the examples I have mentioned here are based on the APA style. So this is all about how you frame a good presentation for framing out the synopsis or thesis. So this is all about. All the best from my side. I wish you good luck for completion of your PhD. Thank you.